Once upon a time, at the very start of our story, there was an evil professor. He had one obsession: he wanted to cheat death. He was incredibly clever, always searching, until finally, that day came when he found a way to escape the grave. But the price was high. After losing everything he held dear, the professor slowly lost his mind and went mad. Now, while this was happening, a Grim Reaper was searching for that very town on the map. He knew where he wanted to go, but he didn't quite know how to get there. In the meantime, the professor's spell actually worked. He stood tall and declared that now, death itself could never find them. Flash forward, and we see a group of kids. They are sitting together, reading the old story of this spell. They tell each other that the professor is still out there, imprisoned far, far away where nobody can find him. He's just there, existing forever. Among the townspeople, a legend began to spread. Who exactly was this Grim Reaper? As years ticked by, people wondered where he could be, and they even started searching for him. Then, one day, the Grim Reaper actually appeared. He didn't come for souls, though. He came with a gift: a magical hourglass. Using it, the people could call back their dead relatives for just one single day. A young girl named Salma had one deep, aching wish. She wanted to meet her parents. To help her, the kids worked together to build something special, waiting and hoping that something would happen. But hours passed and nothing appeared. Someone suggested, maybe if you put something on the table that belonged to your parents, they'll show up. Salma felt a pang in her heart. She had nothing of theirs, no clothes, no trinkets, nothing. Then she remembered a dragon box among her things. She hoped it belonged to them, so they placed it on the table and waited again. Suddenly, a bright, shining light filled the room. But instead of her parents, a dragon burst out of the box. The kids scrambled, running for their lives, but the dragon was right on their heels. George, our main character, decided to be brave. He stopped to face the beast, but he was just a boy. He couldn't win, and he ended up badly injured. When Salma's Nana found out, she was heartbroken and angry. She blamed Salma, telling her, "This is not for kids. Bringing back the dead is dangerous and difficult." She made Salma promise never to try it again. Salma, feeling guilty and silent, agreed. She just wanted her parents, but now she felt she had to give up that dream. 10 long years passed. Salma grew up into a young woman. Every year, she waited desperately for November. On the 1st of November, she felt a spark of happiness and began preparing her altar table. While she was walking, a cart splashed mud all over her clothes. The driver felt terrible and apologized. He explained he was a seller of antique things. To make it up to her, he said, "Take anything you want from my cart. Just please forgive me." He showed her a telescope and a locket and told her a story about a tree that connects the living and the dead, a hidden love story. Salma took the locket and rushed to her secret spot to meet George and another friend. She pleaded with them, "This locket has a connection. It can help me see my parents. Please, just one last time." They couldn't say no to her. On the Day of the Dead, Salma placed the locket on her altar. Boom! There was a blast, but still, no parents. Salma was frustrated and crying, feeling like no one would help her. Nana arrived to comfort her, but Salma, blinded by sadness, snapped at her and ran away. She was sitting sadly in a boat when George and the other boy found her. She tried to row away, but George promised again to help. They traveled far until they reached an old, eerie castle. Inside, they met a wise little insect that guided them through the halls. Salma found a mysterious book, and the moment she touched it, magic filled the air. She realized this was the tree the cart driver had mentioned. A tunnel of light opened up, pulling them into another world. They found themselves in front of a massive jail guarded by monsters. As the guards attacked, Salma opened the book, read a line, and the spell worked. The guards vanished. But then, a huge guard appeared. To hide, Salma tried another spell, but it went a bit wrong. George turned into a girl and the other boy turned into a piece of broccoli. The guard attacked, and the two boys fell into a deep ditch. Salma, now aggressive and desperate to save her friends, read a powerful line from the book. A tiger manifested and finished off the guard. In the chaos, the professor who had been imprisoned there all along walked free. Salma started weeping, blaming herself for her friends being missing. While George and the other boy were wandering the world of the dead, seeing skeletons walking about, Salma was talking to the professor. He lied to her, saying, "I know how to bring the dead back. I can help you." He led her to a castle and claimed her parents were great magicians and only she could activate the codex in the book. He showed her a picture of her parents, but Salma froze. Nana was in the picture too. Nana suddenly appeared, begging Salma not to trust him. But Salma was tired of rules. "I always obeyed you, Nana. Let me follow my heart today." Nana finally revealed the truth. Her father had made a deal with the professor to save her mother from the Grim Reaper. Salma was born during that spell. She shouldn't even have been able to be born because her mother had already passed. Her mother eventually broke the spell to save Salma's life, and that's when the Reaper took her parents. The professor didn't care about Salma's grief. He was using her to bring back abandoned souls forever. He was the villain all along. In the dead world, George and his brother heard the news. Salma was being turned into a witch to help the professor take revenge on the Grim Reaper. As Salma read the spell, lost souls began attacking the dead world. The professor successfully stole the Grim Reaper's powers. George and his brother fought bravely on the other side, trying to stop a train and save the spirits. Salma finally realized she was being tricked. She tried to stop, but the professor threatened her. "If you stop the altar, your friends will be trapped forever." In a final act of love, the boy who was turned into broccoli sacrificed himself to send George back to the real world. George reached Salma, and Nana arrived too. Salma apologized for everything. She used her magic to create a final, pure altar. She brought the professor's own wife to him, which broke his negative spell and restored the Grim Reaper's power. Finally, even the Grim Reaper got to see his own parents. Everything settled. Salma was happy to be back with Nana. When the townspeople saw the Grim Reaper coming to take back his hourglass, they begged him, "Please, leave it with us." George also begged, "Can you bring my brother back?" Salma hugged George and promised him, "Don't worry, I will make an altar and we will call him back to visit." The Grim Reaper took the professor and his wife away to their final rest, and the story ends with a feeling of peace.